Everybody, welcome to Mr. Straight Facts Show. I'm Mr. Straight Facts. Today was filled with a bunch of things that happened. We're not going to cover everything, but it was a lot that was covered. Just want to give you guys a little heads up about the Epstein files. There's 37, well, there's over 3 million missing, but of the files of Donald Trump, after they mentioned something in the news, we got those extra pages, like 16 pages of 3 interviews or whatever. And they're still trying to get more. And then there's 37 pages that are still pertaining to this interview and the 4th interview that are missing. Why would they be trickling out? Trump's guilty. I mean, I'm just going to call it, I'm going to call it a buck. I'm going to call it. Donald Trump is guilty as fuck. Pam Bondi, Cockeyed Cash Patel, and the rest of them are all in on it. I mean, now they are. They may not have been on it at the very beginning, but when they saw it and decided to hide it, you in on it. You can't tell me that that there's nothing there, because why do you hold on to something? And then, I mean, you already done blacked out everything you possibly can, but you don't even show them the unredacted forms. This is the House, Senate. I think you don't show them these documents. It's shady as fuck. And then you only give them 4 computers, and there's hundreds of people to be able to look at it. 4 computers. So they got to book time for the next 3 years before they can be able to look at all the shit. It ain't like this is the only job they got. It's crazy. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? So it was insane to see that, still see that they're holding that back. But I wanted to speak first off, and that means, we got to continue working on the Epstein files, because all this other stuff, it's serious, but it would have never started if Donald Trump wasn't a pedophile and they wouldn't have found out, and everybody's trying to get closer and closer. Once you get closer and closer to someone being found out, they start spraying everything. When he first got closer to them finding out, what about Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton? Those two came in, and basically they really didn't have too much on them. They're still doing an investigation, but they came in and they wanted to be on camera to be able to say what they had to say. They came out, said what they had to say, and Republicans didn't have anything to say about them. Usually they come out, even if they had something, a little something, they would spin it. Like, oh yeah, he was in the house and on the boat and the plane and this, that, and the third. And they didn't come out like that. They just came out, especially Blockhead Comer, and was just mild with it. I was like, oh, I was expecting to say something like he did this, he did that. Nope, didn't say nothing. Kind of had kid gloves. I was like, wow, because they really didn't have anything to get. But they know Donald Trump is stuck in this shit deep, and James Comer, I don't think he really knows, because he came out like kind of hurt the other day, just saying like. And when they came out with the accountant, he came out looking kind of hurt. The more of these documents come out, the more we have to do. I'm like, yeah, you got to work, you dipshit. That's what you're supposed to do. You thought you were supposed to come there and have vacation? Y'all got enough vacation days. It kills me that most Americans work their entire life and get 2-3 weeks most of vacation. Some have been blessed enough to have a couple weeks, 4 weeks or 6 weeks, but they only can take 2 or 3 at a time, and they can take their whole 6 weeks. These fools be off for 2 or 3 months and still be complaining. Got a lot of work to do. Your staff doing all the work. Most of y'all don't even know what the bills are. Marjorie Taylor Greene be like, oh, that was in there? I voted for it, but that was in there? I'm like, bitch, didn't you read it? No, she didn't read it. None of them. They got their little staff. This is what I like and this is what I don't like. Staff read, and then they come back, that ain't in there. Okay, I'll vote for it. And what else is in there? Oh, there's a bunch of bad shit, but what you was asking for ain't in there. Just terrible. Just terrible, y'all. But that today, getting to like the thick of things today. When I first time I heard any kind of news today, the first thing I heard today, I woke up, looking through my phone, I saw I get a lot of alerts from AP, Associated Press. and it said, it was like 6 or something in the morning, and the Ayatollah, the new Ayatollah, speaks, and I was like, oh shit, what he got to say? You know what I'm saying? And he didn't speak in person. It was written, and somebody read it. And my man just said, yeah, you might as well forget going through the Strait of Hormuz. I always messed it up. Hormuz. Anyway, you ain't going through the strait. You forget that. That shit ain't happening. That's our leverage. And yeah, we're going to blow up everything. Everything. My mom better not get in the strait right now. She gone. They ready to blow everything up. And the thing that was, and I was like, I didn't listen to it. I only heard that at the very beginning of the day. And then I had to do some errands, stuff like that. And then later on, I saw some more stuff. I was like, oh, man. And then we had like a shooting, rest in peace, an officer passed away. And then another one, they went through a synagogue. Dude drove his vehicle into the synagogue. And I mean, I ended up being, I didn't get all the details. Didn't make any sense to me, a lot of it. I mean, he just drove down the hallway. He hit one guy, ran him over, hit him with somebody, knocked him out, and supposedly he's going to be. So nobody died but the person who was the, I guess, the attacker, or what do you want to call him. And I saw this officer, and there was a lot of questions being asked. And one of the things I'm starting to recognize, in these cities, like not necessarily like CNN and MSNBC. I'm talking about local news. Go check out their press conference and how the local news is like, they own it, man. They don't trust shit anymore. Cause they were like, so how do you know it's because the officer said it was a terrorist thing. She pulled a Christy Nome, and she said, they was like, how do you know it's a terrorist situation? I was like, that's a good question. And she's like, well, he went through, driving through saying, something to Allah, or whatever the heck it was. I don't think it was Allah, but whatever the name, that she was talking about, they were screaming. But again, that's just his God. It doesn't mean that it was actually from the Middle East, right? But they're so quick, these officers and everything, to put everything on the Middle East. It might be, especially the guy who got shot and killed. I'm pretty sure that might be. But the guy who went through the synagogue, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that was a real, like, he may have did that on his own. But come on, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. You gonna tell me the Ayatollah's gonna hit up his crew and tell them in America, hit up this synagogue and just drive through the bits. Don't go with a bomb. Don't kill nobody. I want you to drive in that bitch and let the car go kaboom. Guess who stepped in the room? That's what I want. But you drive in with no bomb. You drive in with just a gun and you don't kill nobody. Nah, that's well unplanned. That's a Trump and Bibi Netanyahu type of plan. I truly believe if it came from overseas, the first thing it would have done when it went straight into the building was kaboom. It wouldn't have went let me drive through. What's up? Hit him. Let me hit him. Oh, bow, bow, bow. None of that. If it had been them, it'd have been a 9/11 type shit. It would not have been just some dude driving through. But they're so quick to say this. And my thing is, we used to have to go through the process of actually finding out if something is before we call terrorists. I want you to take you back to a time before this war, February 25th. Oh, better yet, let's take your time before Renee Good or even Donald Trump becoming president this time. Let's take you back before, like January 20th or December 30th, 2025, when President Biden was still in, how the country was, right? Specific of people of color. We had black people hung. They called it suicide. We had a guy go into a church and kill people. They said that guy could have been racist, but we don't know if it was a hate crime. We don't know if they never called him a terrorist. Killed 9 people who were just sitting there praying. Come on in, my child. Sit down and pray with us. Okay, bang, 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 bang. They take him to Burger King. Never called a terrorist. I'm tripping how it's so quick that people who do some craziness against, let's say, in this situation, Jewish people, and shoot this one black guy, they automatically thinking terrorism. I understand we at war, but it's before that. They killed Renee Good. She's a terrorist. They killed Alex Preddy. He's a terrorist. I'm like, how we just handing out terrorists and shit? You get a terrorist and you get a terrorist and you get a terrorist. Where that shit come from? We used to take a long time before we call something terrorist. Hell, when somebody called a black person an N-word, that white person still got, it may not be a race crime. It may not be a hate crime. Let's study this. I'm like, he shot a black man and he called him an N-word. That's not, well, we're still researching it. Say what? But this, automatic. I'm like, I don't, this is the thing I like. I really don't trust this country anymore. I just don't. Because again, black people should have never trusted it to begin with, but we gave it everything we could. We gave it the old college try. But it's like, look, how can you trust a place that keeps changing? And it's okay to change with the times, but these times are getting treacherous. They're getting worse. And they're changing for the worst. And we're sitting here like, wait a minute. As much as we're trying to make this like a kumbaya moment, I really want people to pay attention, no matter what race, color, and creed. Ask yourself, every culture has its criminals. Okay? So when people say, and I know people in my room know, but just in case anybody passes this room and they never heard it, there's no such thing as black on black crime. Can I hear it again? There is no such thing as black on black crime. And if you don't believe me, when's the last time you heard white on white crime? When's the last time you heard Asian on Asian crime? Latin on Latin? Muslim on Muslim? Jewish on Jewish crime? Crime is of proximity. So if you're Jewish and you live in a Jewish community, if crime happens to you, more than likely it's going to be a Jewish person. White person, the same. Latin person, the same. So when you guys do crime, what is it called? It's just called crime. But when it's black on black crime. Where'd that shit come from? This country says it isn't racist, but it's got a racist fucking term. It only applies to black people. It doesn't apply to any other race in this fucking country. And it's crazy how we all have bad people in every last one of our cultures. But black people are the only culture that fight for everybody's rights. When Asian people fight, they fight for their own. When Latin people fight, they fight for their own. When white people fight, they fight for their own. Black people be fighting for everybody's rights. Now, the group that gets shitted on the most is the same group that loves on the most. Crazy, huh? Something happened to Venezuelans. Where the black people at? Where the black people at? Where the fuck? Why are we supposed to be there? They're mad at us because we don't went on strike. Well, what's happening in my family? We was out there marching for you. Yeah, you were. But you was in front? No, you weren't in front for us, were you? No? Black Lives Matter, were you in the front or were you in the back? You was in the back, right? We were in the front. Everybody was looking at us. And when they started saying Black Lives Matter is this and this and that, where'd you go? Back to your couch. When they started lying on black people and putting it out there like, oh, they're doing this, they're buying homes, which was a plan to get everybody to hate something that was actually fucking working like gangbusters, where'd you go? Disappear. Because it's easy to believe black people aren't good. So the moment they said anything negative about Black Lives Matter, oh, it's gone. People don't want to be bothered with it. Yet you will elect a dude that rapes people. Not just people, children. Slapped a child because she bit his unit. What she did? Why was the child down in his unit to begin with? You let that guy be president twice. See what I'm saying? I mean, black people should be on strike. You think we should still be fighting? Hell no, we shouldn't. We will because it's in our nature, but we shouldn't. Because every time we fight, we still lose. Even when we win, we lose. Affirmative action. We won. Who got it most? White women. How the fuck we lose on the thing that we died for? And you can go down the line. We lost our black. Martin Luther King. People hated him. White women hated him back in the day. Then they benefited from him. Oh, I guess he is good. People don't realize they hated Martin Luther King back then when he was alive. Couldn't stand him. Oh, I got a job. I'm getting paid 66 cents per dollar instead of 15 cents per dollar. Oh, wow. Who did that? Affirmative action did. Oh, wow. Really? Yeah. Oh, okay. Who did that? Black people. Huh? Crazy, huh? Crazy. It drives me nuts on that shit, man. When you start looking at the history of this country, the most should be like hating this bitch is people who are black. But you'll find they love it more. The most patriotic people are the people who've been shat on in the country that they continue to love on. Not just shat on the worst, and still say they love it. You got these MAGA people who just have a little bad life. They ain't been shat on, and they went on a hate spree and put this piece of shit in office. Because I'm not being focused on. Have you been shat on? No, you haven't. Focused on? So you got to share with people. Whew, holy shit. So bad, you got to share with people. You ain't getting hung. You ain't getting pulled over by cops and being shot and then have white people search your back history to find out, oh, he kicked a little kid in the 7th grade at the gym. He deserved to be killed. You don't have that. Well, you just got it with Donald Trump. 2 people. You notice how much Renee Good and Alex Preddy are moving America because they got treated like black people for once? There was a black man that died. Ain't nobody spoke of him. They still talking about these 2 because he died in between them. And they ain't mentioned his name once on the news. The names that matter are the 2 white people who died in the streets like a dog, like black people do on the regular. Did any of you guys out there, MAGA, did you search everybody's background? I know some of you MAGA people did try to find some stuff on Renee Good. You try to say, because she was gay and she probably wasn't a good mom and all this other shit. I heard some of that shit. I heard some of it. But did you look and see if she have a criminal record? I'm probably sure some of them did because it was trying their best to make the other white person, which was a male, better. Did they do it to Alex Preddy? Yeah, I think they did. They said he went back and he kicked something, and it turns out that was AI from what I heard. But yeah, they did kind of look back on it. So, they got treated like black people. Not as bad, but still, they dug into your past, and you were the victim. Now we're all trying to get some stuff done. And who knew that it had to be white people treated like black people in order for shit to start to move the needle? For people to understand that they elected a turd and he elected a bunch of other shits that are trash human beings. It's crazy how I see on some of this conservative media, X and all this shit like that, it's just filled with stupidity, with hypocrisy. All the shit they said about Biden, it is true of Trump 1,000,000 times over. Still don't see it, don't know it. It is a cult. It is a cult. Some of them are breaking away, but you know how bad it had to get? They had to see a white person get killed in the street too. Had them turn against their own beliefs. Whenever we had a school shooting, you couldn't get MAGA or Republicans, before even MAGA came, Republicans were the same way. You couldn't get them to say it's guns too. Can it be both? They like, guns don't kill people, people kill people. Well, people with guns kill people, so it is both of them. They are married together. It's not like one can divorce the other. But they just got that one plan, and children were getting killed, yo. I mean, babies. And they were sticking to the guns. They were wearing gun pendants and shit. I'm like, you got an AK on your shoulder. Like, and babies just died. Oh, I care about the babies. Well, you don't have a baby fucking pendant on. You got a gun pendant. You chose the gun over the fucking baby. You guys are sick. They didn't see it that way. They were so in love with their guns. Then Alex Preddy has a gun. Oh, he has a gun. He was full of bullets and none of that. What? He never pulled it out. It was on his hip legally. What the fuck you talking about? I thought you didn't like big government. Here it is. We got gigantic government walking through the streets, breaking through people's homes without a warrant. That's the shit you guys talked about for fucking decades. I'm going to buy another gun. You guys got walls filled with fucking guns because you don't want the government to tread on you, meaning running up in your house and you're going to be prepared for the civil war from the government. And while it's happening, you're on the side of the fucking government. Wow. I'm like, what fucking world are we in? This shit's done flipped up. I'm like, Democrats weren't even thinking of like government coming into your home. We was thinking rights. Yeah, you can have your gun. We just don't want like military style weapons on the street. Have your gun. Go shoot. My daughter shoots. Friends of mine shoot. I've shot a couple times. I don't think nothing of it. But I'm like, yo, we don't need no military style weapons. What you trying to kill? I mean, if you're going out to shoot deer or whatever it is that you're going to bring home to eat, you're going to have 85 bullets in something that you want to eat? Come on, man. Be realistic. It's not hard. 87% of Americans wanted it. And instead of you guys capitulating and saying, yeah, let's just get rid of bunk stops, let's get rid of military style weapons. Oh no, you traded all that in for the government to tread on you. And when they tread on you, they treaded on you via Alex Preddy. You stood on the side of the government to do more of it. To break into your homes without a warrant. As long as you're a brown person, black person, immigrant. But you know, if you give somebody the right to do one person, they're going to do you too. It don't stop. It just goes with they don't like you. Let you say something against the government they don't like Trump's a dipshit, and your white ass can get broken into, thrown into jail. Why would you do that to yourself? Because you got so much hate in your heart for others that you can't see any kind of love for yourself. The hate outweighs your love of self. And that's scary. It is. I'm just saying. And that was my little message from Racistville, to give you a little bit of understanding of what I'm talking about with these racist ass people. But why did it have to be so extreme that you can't even see you're giving away your own rights and you're making the government gigantic? Our government has taken so many hundreds of billions from us through tariffs. I mean, yo, I thought it was a typo. Did y'all hear how much Pete Hegseth spent in a month? In a month, yo, look. I'm for crazy shit. A piano, shrimp, what was it? The other thing, steaks and shit. I was like, who buys millions of dollars worth of steaks? I mean, what the fuck? I mean, they're like a whole fucking yard of cows or whatever you feel the cows. Who does that? This man spent 93 with a B now, $1 billion in 1 month. How? Who the fuck he buying for? They done fired everybody working for him. How the fuck you spend $93 billion? Do you understand we can feed the poor? They didn't have money for SNAP, and these bitches spent $93 billion for shit they can't even really account for? Who ate it? Boy. They want America to rise up. I'm telling you. They want us to rise up and attack them, because I'll be damned. You can't tell me we don't have any money in the government. I am sick of people saying we ain't got enough. They done made you believe that we ain't got enough. If one agency can spend $93 billion in a fucking month and not be broke, America could have health care. There is no fucking way you could tell me nothing different. They got Americans thinking that we have lack. We must have a grip in the government that they ain't telling us about. Because $93 billion for food and crap in a month that he spent. And from what I heard, I don't know this would be fact, is that they had a surplus in the account. Like, this is how it works. I know this is probably how it works when in government in the government sections, like even for like what do you call it, SNAP or welfare. There's so many, like hundreds of billions given per year, right? And it's all sitting in this pot that you guys collect. Most Americans who are poor or even need like a little subsidy of some sort, that most human beings, we don't want to take it. Most poor human beings. Rich people take their money like it ain't nothing. Most poor people like, I can work another job. I can go drive an Uber. I can do it. I don't want that free money. And that money just sits there. Over the years, just gathers and gathers and gathers and gathers. And so with that money growing, that could be going to pay for paying down our debts and stuff like that. But that's every department. If it's not used up, and a lot of times, like in this situation, they was talking about that it goes back into the pot again or whatever. So Pete Hegseth knew that by the end of this particular point in time, that money would just disappear. It had to go somewhere else or whatever, go back into some kind of pot. He spent it instead of letting it go back into whatever pot. So he wasted money. $93 billion in a month. It makes me wonder, how much did he spend the previous month? How much did they've been in there what? It's what, this 14 months? How much did they spend 14 months? This is just one department, ladies and gentlemen. One. We got a shit ton of apartments in the government. And you want to tell me we don't have enough money to start paying off our debts? We don't have enough money to have health care? You can spend $93 billion in a month and you can't help feed the poor? I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Billion. 93. When I heard that, I was like, y'all got the numbers right? Are you talking about millions? Because that don't seem right. Billions. That's almost $100 billion. What the fuck? And this is supposed to be, again, I tell you, conservatives, it is a lie. They got people believing they're conservatives. You ain't never heard of no Democrat spending $93 billion in a month. That is the entire budget for some projects. He spent it in a month. I can't get off that, yo. I mean, you just got to put it in your head. $93 billion. Do you know what a real conservative could do with $93 billion? And I mean conservative, I mean a person who takes responsibility of money and takes care of it and help it grow. You know how much that could actually help American citizens? That could have been put back into our Social Security. Can help save Social Security. Y'all do know, I done told me people have been around here. Y'all do know that our Social Security, when they talk about, it can go, belly up basically in like so many years. But ask them why I would do that. Ask any of these Republicans, Democrats, Independents, all of them. Ask them why would Social Security be so close to going, belly up. You never hear them tell you why. They make it seem like, it's just happening because we're spending out so much money that, people are getting older or retiring earlier, so the money's starting to dwindle. That ain't it. You know why it is? Because think of Social Security as a huge bank, filled with money, just filled with cash. Why? Because American citizens, when they created this shit, it was supposed to be money going into a pot, and that money wasn't supposed to be fucked with. It's supposed to be just for the American citizens who put money into it. Had that happened, we would never have a problem with Social Security. Why? Because people have been putting shit in it for decades upon decades, and their only thing that's coming out are the people getting some funds. Well, if you're putting in every month, those funds going out every month, it's going to grow because you don't get out 100% of your money. You get back like 80% of your cash you put in it, whatever. So each person should have some cash in there, right? And it shouldn't be going bankrupt. It should be just growing and growing and growing steadily. You know why it's going bankrupt? Because back in the day, a Republican president, they had the deficit, how much America brought in, say it was back then, let's say $2 trillion from taxes, and how much they spend. Oh, we're going to spend $3 trillion. So we're $1 trillion in debt in this deficit here, right? We spend $3 trillion, we only put in $2 trillion. So when they had to come and tell everybody how much we were in the hole for, this president had the stupid fucking idea, like, what if we took some money out of Social Security, put it over here and allocate it? That was against the law. They had to change the rules to be able to do that. Put it over here and make it look like we're doing a good job financially to American people. So our deficit isn't 1 trillion, it's like 500 billion, while we take a whole shit ton of money out of Social Security. And this huge pot of cash that should never be dwindling, these fuckers decided to make that the thing. After they did it at one time, it worked like gangbusters. It makes us look like we actually can govern. Wow. And they start spending and spending. Social Security is filled with a bunch of fucking IOUs is why it's going down. It's filled with IOUs. And then you start to think to yourself, they had to have thought of this, these Republicans who came up with this idea and Democrats who've run with this fucking idea and keep telling everybody, oh, it's because it's, we're spending so much out of it and, and people are retiring early. Shut the fuck up. If you're in a situation financially, that's why I know Republicans aren't fucking fiscally conservative. Because if you're taking money out of something and you realize, I had to take money out of Social Security because the deficit was bad, and I didn't want the world to know, the United States to know, that our deficit was so bad. So I put this much money in it, and it looks like our deficit is like now these aren't the exact numbers. They say it's just 500 billion instead of $1 trillion. So it looks calmer, like they're doing something like, oh, wow, we pulled in a lot of money. Well, once you do that, you realize if you don't fuck with Social Security again, the next time, because you made that false 500 billion, because you was already $1 trillion in, the next time you're going to be $1 trillion plus. Then what happens to Social Security? You're still taking money out of it to try and make yourself look good. And as you continue to rob the people and tell them that you're doing well, everybody starts doing this shit because it becomes normalized. And if you had just left it the fuck alone and told America that you just can't govern and you're down to $1 trillion in debt, and if you could govern to be able to get more money out of the American people, meaning create new jobs and opportunities, start investing into businesses and giving people opportunities to start businesses, giving out not just $50,000 to start a business, just like you gave subsidies to big businesses and gave them millions and billions of dollars, you should have gave it to the average people to do the same thing, to get government contracts, and had you built a working class that actually had a movable way to go up, you would start creating multimillionaires, and those who have paid their taxes, their fair share, and that money, you would have never had to take out of Social Security. You would have been able to fix it conservatively, meaning don't spend as much as you fucking make. But no, they want to continue looking like a big dog on somebody else's dime, and then multiple years down the line, Social Security is having problems. No shit. If you're taking money out of it and you're really going into more debt and you're not fixing the problem, that means you're going to drain Social Security. And if you're going to do that, how do you call yourselves conservatives? You get tax cuts to everybody. It's like, why don't you take that and put it back in security, Social Security, that you took money from people? Why don't you put that back in there so therefore you can pay off your debts to American society? No, you get tariffs to charge us more taxes after you don't took money out of our Social Security. That's why Social Security is going down. These people, this government keeps fucking us over left and right. And the thing that's so sad about it, I had to learn about this on my own. I ain't never in my life heard a Republican say that out loud. I ain't never in my life heard a Democrat or an independent say that shit out loud. Not even Bernie Sanders. And that pissed me off, because I'm sitting there like, if anybody's really going to be real and running for office, you need to tell the fucking truth. And if you're going to ever utter those fucking words of conservatism, no matter what party it is, you better live that shit. Otherwise, shut the fuck up about conservatism, because you don't know shit about it. If you continue taking from the poor and feeding the rich, and then taking from the rich to fuck over the poor. I'm sick of it. Go look it up for yourself. Don't believe me. Go look it up. I'm always saying, Mr. Straight Facts, go look it up. And when you come back and find out how these people have been robbing the American people while telling you to buy American, which means put more money into these billionaires' pockets, while they continue to fuck you over and tell you, don't take Social Security, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, while they take millions and billions of dollars of your money and go out and gamble with it. And if they lose, they get another chance. If you lose, they take your house or your car or your life. Just saying. Go look it up. It pisses you off when you start to learn the real shit about this country. The people are great. Our government sucks. Hollering patriotism while you robbing the people that you want to go out here and say patriotism to. Fucking pisses me off, y'all. All right, let me get back to the news. We'll be here all night, but you know how it is. When the truth hits me, I gotta talk about it. All right, so getting back to the news of the day after that history lesson of American fuckoverism. I woke up and saw heard about the leader of Iran talking about the Strait of Hormuz, Hormuz, damn it, I know how to spell it. But anyway, saying that he's gonna make this stuff leverage. He's just going, you guys ain't doing shit. This is how we're gonna do everything. And then I remember I saw a video of Rand Paul trying to explain to Republicans that we are in for a huge loss if we keep going down the path that we're going down. So I wanted to give a breath of fresh air, and I don't like Rand Paul for shit, but a breath of fresh air to this dude, because I think he kind of batshit crazy as well. It's funny how batshit crazy people get on that like smart plane or train every once in a while, and then they go so far and they hitch a ride back to dipshittery. And you're like, can't you keep going to Saneville? Why the fuck you keep going back to dipshittery land? But this is him going toward the aisle of intelligence.
I think the 2026 elections already, we are behind the eight ball as far as the electoral process. I think if you add in high gas prices, high oil prices, and if we are still bombing Iran with kinetic action, people don't want to call it war, but if there's still kinetic action that causes oil to be over $100, I think you're going to see a disastrous election.
Yes, you will. Of course you will. I don't know about MAGA people, but I know independents are going to jump ship because, they had this idea. I want to speak to you independent people. I'm trying to figure something out. I know y'all was tripping off of Bibi Netanyahu and him killing Palestinians. I hated it too. I made videos about it and everything. But see, you know what? I can be able to separate my mind from saying, you know what? Do I look like I got a cape on my back? Does it look like I'm gonna fly over the world and be, oh look, over there, let's fly over here real quick and try and save them. Oh, let's come over here and say, nah, bitch, you're gonna have to fight your own fight sometimes. I'm not gonna stop on every aisle and figure out y'all got something wrong. You got something wrong. We super USA. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? Wanna help you out? Don't even know the whole reason why shit going down. Let me help you out. Okay, let's do it. Let me pick a side. Why you pick that side? Do you know the history of it all? No, you don't. But so you guys thought that getting with a criminal, rapist, fraudster, all that, you thought that was going to be better than a woman who was a prosecutor. You know, it kills me when I really look back on it. Still, what pisses me off is that a black woman, highly intelligent, ran the attorney general's I get for entire of California, which is bigger than most of the states in America. So she could run California, attorney general, that way. She can run all that, side and all that shit. That means she can govern something, right? She can govern a bunch of people, a lot of fucking people. You got a guy who got not only one, but 6 opportunities, 6 chances to run a casino that prints fucking money. And he bankrupted all 6. And you want to tell us that you don't have a racist bone in your body? Then what was it? Because I know you had stupidity, but you had to have racists in your system because you literally thought, and sexist, you literally thought because she was a woman, and some of you thought because she was black that she wasn't qualified. Well, I would dare you to go back and look at her qualifications. And I would venture to say there has never been a president ever in the United States of America that became president that had more experience running anything than her. And that would be including Reagan. Even though he was governor, that's including him. He went from being an actor to doing this shit. You feel me? Retired actor from doing this. And fucked up the country, man. Republicans have you thinking, oh, I'm a Republican from Reagan. Even then, you should know that was dipshittery. But I'm trying to figure out how independents, how you guys say, well, everybody who voted for Donald Trump isn't racist. Tell me why not. I'm getting tired of the politically correct bullshit too, where you get there and say like, well, not everybody. You'll see it on the news. Not everybody. Yes, you are. You don't want to admit it. I'm tired of you not taking responsibility or accountability for your actions and your racism and your sexism and your xenophobia. You have it. You have it. What was your main points? Trans people not being in sports. There are literally like 10. We are a fucking country of 340 million people. And you gave a fuck about 10 because you hated on them. You had more hate for those 10 women that you, oh, what's the difference between a woman and a man? Is this, is that? You really gave a damn about that. Guess what? They still gonna be trans by the end of the fucking day. And guess what? They're going to get old enough and become trans in the future. So you're arguing about shit you can't stop. So you decided to fuck your whole life over for somebody you probably never met. I guarantee most of you independents and Republicans and just people who are just hateful never sat down and spoke to a trans person in your fucking life. You just got hate. Reminds me of back in the 80s for people with gay people. They were just so fucking hateful. For what? You fucked your entire life up. You farmers fucked your entire life up for hate. And guess what? You still ain't gonna learn. You're gonna make excuses. You're gonna be like, well, you know, it was this. Everybody makes mistakes. You always back up off your fuck ups like, oh, well, let me go the other direction. No, take responsibility and accountability for this shit. Those 170 people, roughly around 160 girls in Iran, that's your fault. You killed him as much as you took the weapon and planted it there your fucking self. You did it. You did it. Every last one of you. Independent. I don't care if you was a Democrat and voted for Donald Trump, Republican voted for Donald Trump. You pulled the trigger on that shit. Everything he did, you did. I take responsibility for the shit that Joe Biden did, giving Netanyahu weapons. I was pissed off at Joe Biden for that shit. I'm like, man, stop this shit. This man is a fucking tyrant. He's illegal and all that. Why are you fucking with him? You supposed to be Christian. I still don't understand that shit. And all the rest of them who had to deal with that. Take responsibility for it. Sitting here acting like you ain't got nothing to do with it. Alex Preddy is your fault. Renee Good is your fault. Know why? You voted for him, and when it happened to him, what are you doing? You're supporting it. Big government, and you're against the Second Amendment. You're a Second Amendment hater. All this time, Obama's going to take your guns. Here it is, Donald Trump taking your guns and using the fact that you wearing one that he could kill you and call you a terrorist the same minute he killed you. Bow, terrorist. Didn't you shoot him in the back? Makes you a terrorist, right? No, terrorist. And walks away. And y'all out here trying your damnedest to turn Preddy into a fucking terrorist. Y'all don't believe in shit. You're worthless human beings. You don't believe in any kind of morals. We learn you guys don't have morals. You don't have any respect. You don't take responsibility. And you always want to say you're not like your fucking ancestors. You're worse. You're worse. Your ancestors did it out in the open. And when you said they was racist, they were damn right. You guys lie about being racist and still do racist fucking acts. You're worse than your fucking ancestors. All right. It's just insane to me. But you get Rand Paul hipping Republicans up in MAGA that you guys are going to lose because people's lives are turning upside down. Gas going up 10 cents a day. And like I said about the government and businesses, they ain't got your back because if they did, they wouldn't have to go up 10 cents per day. Why? Because that oil hasn't reached the damn gas station yet. That gas they selling you right now was the gas that they were selling at $2.69. It's the same gas. It ain't left the gas station yet. It's been like 7 days. It's still there. You're paying $5 for $2 gas that they bought for $1.79. You can blame Iran all you want, but I blame Trump and these billionaires that keep fucking you over and telling you to look over there. Let me rob you real quick. It's over there. It's over there. That person I can't even see. You just took money from me. Who the fuck is that? I ain't never met him. I know your ass, and you just robbed me. But look over there while they rob you. Oh, I can't stand them. And MAGA, I want you to know what Donald Trump thinks of you. America, the rest of us already know he thinks of this. But Mike Johnson went to Donald Trump, asked Donald Trump, suggested to Donald Trump, we got to start helping the American people if we want to try and win, this next election. We got to start figuring out something because Donald Trump wants this Save America Act. AKA Save Act. He just changed the name because he thinks Save America will get you guys to fall for it. He's a marketing guy. So he wants to get you all caught up in America. Save America Act. And that's going to make it even better. It's the same fucking act. But him rebranding an act to get you suckers in on it. He said to him in a closed meeting, and Mike Johnson went and told, I think, of like 4 or 5 or some, a group of Republicans, and some of them Republicans went and ratted his ass out real quick. But the statement was, basically like, I think we need to see if I got it here. Yeah. I think we need to do something for the American people. And this is what he had to say about doing something for the American people, you MAGA people, about housing, helping you with housing and so forth. This man literally said, nobody gives a fuck about housing. Donald Trump said that about all Americans. Nobody gives a fuck about housing. He don't, because he got a bunch of them. Tore down the White House and still trying to rebuild shit that we don't want. His Pete Hegseth spent $93 billion on steak and shrimp and grand pianos and shit in a month. And you needing help in your house, farmers who are about to lose their home because their farms are going to shit, got to get loans and all this stuff like that. The people who voted for him, he said nobody gives a fuck about housing. Fuck a housing bill. Let's work on the one that's going to keep me in office. Because if you don't do this, if you don't get these people to vote for me when it comes to the elections, and I'm going to lose bigly, they're going to get me out of office. I ain't going to have no more time. My power's going away. You know who I care about most, Mike Johnson? Me. You see me? You see? Yeah, bow down, bitch. It's me you looking at. That's who I care about. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about your family. But I know one thing. I'm the most powerful man in the world. You get your ass out there and protect me. Shut up about all this helping people shit. Fuck them. And when he said this, the first thing I thought about, even though, because I was thinking about MAGA, I always, you know, if you knew me in person, even when I'm in this type of shit, I turn shit into jokes or whatever it may be, makes you laugh even when you want to cry. When he said this, who gives a fuck about houses? The first thing I thought was Rick James on Eddie Murphy's couch on Dave Chappelle's show. Fuck your couch. Fuck your couch. He's like, fuck your house, nigga. Fuck your house. Just kicking you. Saying, fuck y'all. You bow down to me. I don't give a fuck about y'all. Y'all peasants. That's the way he's treated you this entire fucking time. And he keeps doing it. When y'all gonna stand up and be women and men that believe in themselves and not let some piece of shit orange turd treat you like absolute trash? He said, fuck your house, knucker. That shit, boy, I was like, damn. He just raw with it. And they gonna sit here and still kiss his ass. Because they don't know no better. It was so bad, you know what I'm saying? Donald Trump actually put out a truth. Let's see if I can get this disappear real quick. He put out a truth. And his truth was about still disrespecting, people in America. Not only did he tell you to fuck your house. He went on a tour and said something about what did Trump say about? I think he said something about houses. Let's see if this is the one, or about the economy and things of that nature. He said, see if I can get it right here real quick. First he said America's in good shape. Yeah, let's get to that one. He said America's in good shape. I'm like, really? Let's hear that one. And he's talking about like throughout this whole entire war shit and all that, we're in good shape. And then you're going to see a video right after that, especially with like the Strait of Hormuz. Listen to this nitwit.
In great shape. We've knocked out all of their boats. They have some missiles, but not very many. I think we're in very good shape.
Yep. That right there is a ship. I guess we're in really good shape because that's a ship that they just blew up. And there's 3 of them. You see that one setting on fire? I'll let it play out a little bit more. Yeah, look at that big, huge plume. That's a ship that thought that when Donald Trump said, y'all need to man up and go through the Strait of Hormuz. Go ahead and do it. Some dumb shit had to try. And that's what happened to him. Kaboom! Guess who stepped in the room? And then they sent out that message saying, yeah, y'all want to keep on trying, you can. Go ahead and try all you want. But that's right there is the message you're going to get every time you go. And the thing about it is, America's talking all this trash about we're going to get some insurance so that we can be able to help the people. You know what's so messed up is that the company, I'm trying to remember the name of it, the huge kind of like bank that used to sell slaves. I can't remember the top of my name. They're the ones who still do insurance for ships and things of that nature. The Lord or something, Lords of something, I think it is. But anyway, they're the ones who do like the huge banking. Been doing it since way back in the day with the ships and stuff like that, even with slaves. And they're the ones who give the insurance for this. And so Donald Trump and his minions tried to figure out a way to grift and make money, decided out of nowhere, because you know this shit just happened on the 28th, and here we are on the 12th. But they did this shortly after the 28th. Lords of London. Thank you, Annie. The Lords of London. I was waiting to see when y'all got it. I see it also with Let the Sun Shine Through. Thank you very much. So Lords of London, they're the ones who do the insurance for all this stuff and been doing it, like I said. And Donald Trump and his minions tried to come up with an insurance plan to be able to make some money off of this particular process that they fucked up. Right? So they were offering insurance too. It's like crazy, like $1 billion, some crazy shit, whatever. And you would think that they were just trying to offer, just like Mark Cuban offers not healthcare, but medicine for cheap. And Donald Trump just copied his shit and came up with the Trump knockoff of Mark Cuban's thing. I think it's GoodRx or something of that nature. He made a knockoff of that shit, offers less medications, but you can just go to Mark Cuban's thing and get better deals anyway. But he's knocking off this insurance thing, and it turns out the insurance isn't for the vehicle, not for the ship. So if the ship gets kaboomed, that ain't for the insurance. The insurance is to travel with them, alongside them. You get the insurance for us to protect you. Not that we can protect you. And if your vessel gets blown up, hey, you pay for us to come out there. We had to put all this stuff out here and move out here with you. You're just paying for that, to ride alongside you. Why the fuck we need you, bro? If they gonna hit us, you ain't taking care of that, so I'm gonna spend an extra $1 billion so you can ride alongside me. I mean, grift city these people are. But they sitting here, this is what they said. The Ayatollah, the new one, the son, you guys are gonna get blown up. So Donald Trump out here telling people, oh, you're good, we're in great shape. They don't have that many boats and ships anymore. They're all at the bottom of the ocean. Well, there's one right there on its way to the bottom of the ocean, and that one had oil in it. Now I know this is quite like liberal of me, in a sense, I guess, and I don't consider myself liberal or non-liberal, whatever, but won't there be oil all in the water? Like, isn't that going to kill like all the wildlife in it? Remember how BP fucked up the ocean out here off of California, and they had to get all these ducks and shit, all these things that were dying. I know maybe they don't care over there, but I mean, that just came to the top of my head. I know ain't nobody thinking about that in the middle of a war. I'm like, the fish and wildlife and everything for miles is going to die, right? If they blowing up ships. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I just had that thought. I'm like, whoever lives there, y'all food is going to be, the shrimp ain't going to be good no more. Let me tell you that right now. They're going to be messing with the food quality and everything in everybody's area. To think of it, Iran was smart as hell. I mean, we didn't even, I'll keep on going. That we didn't even think about, and I ain't say we, get that out your mouth, Drew. Get it out your mouth. It's a straight fact. Donald Trump and his dipshits, he don't be putting that we shit in there no more. They didn't think of any of the shit that Iran would do. And here's the crazy part. Every presidency before Donald Trump thought of that. They thought about saving these people multiple times before. Obama did, Biden did, because I don't know if they really believe, they didn't care about the oil enough, because again, if they did, they would have went on with it. But they cared about the people, it seems like. Maybe not Bush, but still. Bibi Netanyahu tried to get all of them since 1996 try and get in on it. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. And they found their dipshit in Donald Trump, but did not plan how to get in and get out. Just thought they were just going to boom and then just bounce. Boom and bounce. Like they did Venezuela. They didn't have to kill nobody in Venezuela. Just got somebody, took them out. Look how great we were. You bombed these people last year, then you killed their leader this year. You think they're going to trust you? And now I done seen the leader over there, not the Ayatollah, but one of the voices that are speaking for them. They've been having these interviews with this one white guy. I don't know where he's from. And another, I think maybe CBS or whatever it may be. But this one interview, and this guy was speaking, and they asked him, do you have a plan? Like what would it take to pull out or whatever, whatever. And he's like, basically nothing. You know what I'm saying? And he goes like, nothing? He goes, well, if America leaves the region and basically their military bases and everything else leave the region, like they just gone for good and never fucking with us again, then we might be able to do it. But if they want to keep their bases in our location and have a presence over here, it ain't stopping, Jack. It ain't stopping. Stop, won't stop. No diddy. But that is exactly what this guy was saying. And they're fed up. They're like, and the thing that kills me about them, they just be saying it. Donald Trump be all trying to like sell shit. They got nothing but smoke. You can see their heads like smoking with hate. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that's crazy, and they're not like they hate Americans. They hate Trump. They hate Bibi Netanyahu. They know who got them into this. They know he's been trying. They be like, he's been trying for doing this for years and years and years. And on top of that, they don't want Israel to be a leader in their area anymore. Israel's done for. If America pulls out, these countries ganging up and fucking them up. They're going to have to nuke something to get out of this shit. These people are hating on Israel. I don't know how bad it's going to get. People talk and all that shit like that. And then, they make deals and money and everything be fine. But Netanyahu, nah, bro. I think Netanyahu's number is up. It's up. And guess what? I just want, maybe y'all seen it. I haven't seen it. But I was just thinking about it. Where the fuck? That's why I named this. Where in the fuck is Bibi Netanyahu? That shit started and that fool had been out. You ain't heard nothing. You ain't seen him in the news. You saw him that first couple days. He was like, and Donald Trump got in with us, and we're just thankful for our friends in America, and blah, blah, blah. And phew, not an interview, not a nothing. Trump over here fighting for his life. Fighting for his life, talking about, I started because of this, I started because of that. And Bibi is ghost. You ain't seen him in no interviews. You ain't seen him in nothing. He's like, he left us with the bag. We handling it all. That's so fucked up. Donald Trump is the head of a war that Bibi Netanyahu started and got his minions and so were in Israel shooting and everything like that. But Bibi's ghost. You ain't seen one interview. Not one. I mean, it's sad and scary at the same time that America is out on a limb for a dude that disappeared on us. On Trump. He disappeared on me. And I'm sitting there like, and you know who's speaking more than Bibi Netanyahu and somewhat Trump? Lindsey Graham. He's speaking for Israel like he Israeli. I'm like, what the fuck? You better go over there and be a senator or whatever they have over there. What the fuck you here doing that for? Oh, I don't remember this guy's name because I just saw this clip. And it was a person in the news interviewing. It was on shit. I gotta watch it full when I get off tonight because I'll go back and watch these shows. Cenk Uygur was talking to an Israeli either leader or citizen, or he may be Israeli and he lives in America. I don't know exactly where he's from. But this Israeli dude was talking mad trash. Like he's like telling America that they better not pull out and all this other shit like that. And Cenk Uygur was going off. He was like, did you, Piers Morgan? He goes, Piers, did you hear what he said? And I was saying, oh shit, the smoke is about to happen. Did you hear what he said? He just said basically that America, whoever's here, America, if we don't continue with this fight like they want us to, Israeli people want us to, you know what I'm saying? He was like saying Jewish, I think, believe too. He said, that's what you thought. He said, he kept asking the dude, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? The dude, I guess, wouldn't answer. He finally came out. He said, Pierce, let me explain it to you since he won't say it. This just said that if the people who are getting AIPAC, our leaders getting AIPAC, if they don't continue to do what this dude and Israeli people and the Jewish people in Israel want us to do, they'll stop giving them money and they will primary them. They'll start giving money to somebody else to take their place, to make Americans do Israel's fucking work for them. And I was like, whoa, somebody said it out loud. About time somebody said this shit. I got to go and watch it because I know fucking Piers Morgan, that dude, the fence hopping bastard, I don't like him. But yeah, he's all over the place. I'm not a Trumper. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Quit. I'm on both sides of the fence. No, you just come to your senses every once in a while. Then you go back to Delulu land. You're like, oh, that is unfair. Then you go to Stupidville. And I'm like, nah, man, you can't just hop over the sense and then go back to nonsense. It's like, man, stay in Senseville or take your ass back to dipshittery land. Oh boy, I'm so sick of these people. Be trying to just hopscotch and shit. Stay on the right side of history. Quit going on the wrong side. Well, I've been a friend of his. I don't care. Who cares if you being Donald Trump's friend? I would not even mention that. If me and Donald Trump were boys, I wouldn't even mention it. But nah, bro, you doing too much. I'm out. You ain't no boy of mine. Doing that shit? We done. I wouldn't even mention it. He act like it's some kind of flex to say he cool with a dictator / rapist / pedophile. That's my friend. These fame jumping bastards, I can't stand them. Oh, I want to be a part of fame, so I'm gonna go ahead and kiss the ass of whoever's got the most of it. It's like, no, dude, just stay with morals, and whoever's on the moral side, you stick with it. You don't ride with the pedophile because they got money. I mean, really? If they got power, it's like, really? I'm trying to take their power down. I'm not trying to hitch my wagon up to it just because it has cash or power. That's ridiculous. You ain't going to be here forever. And you selling your soul because Donald Trump already know he ain't going to heaven. He already says it. We asked him if he's going to heaven. He said, no, I know I'm going to make it. I'm not going there. And even Marjorie Taylor Greene recognized that and was like, what's wrong with him? Why doesn't he think he's not a Christian? I'm like, no shit, dipshit. You ain't one either. You rolled right beside him until you wised up because he kicked you to the curb. Had he not kicked you to the curb, you'd be still spitting the same bullshit you always been spitting. I'm not giving you credit for coming to Saneville after fucking 8 years of being in Delulu land. So I want you to watch this clip. It's a collage or a collaboration or whatever of videos of Donald Trump talking about that America's economy is doing good. Now, there's different dates, but one of these dates is right before. It's crazy. The day before he sent the bomb, February 28th, he sent the bomb. February 27th, I think that was a State of the Union, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but he was sitting there talking about gas prices and shit and how well the economy is doing. Check this shit out. You probably was there, but check it out.
Our policies have brought gas prices way down, and now at $2.37 a gallon. Right here in Corpus Christi, the price of gasoline is down to just less than, actually, now $2.30.
I was in Iowa last week, and it was $1.85 a gallon, and in some places, $1.99 a gallon.
That right there was 4 days. This was the State of the Union. It was literally 4 days before he bombed Iran. Now, if he knew, because he's claiming now, I knew gas was going to go up, then why didn't you tell America what the fuck you was going to do? Prepare him for the situation. Because you didn't know. Bibi Netanyahu hit you up. You was out here bragging 4 days prior how great the economy was going. And you know Donald Trump, if he had known he was going to do this, he would have tried to hip America up to a change. He would have said something to the effect of, and this is just think of Trump whisperer real quick, translating stupid. If he knew on the 24th, like right here, when he did the State of the Union, that he was going to start a war, and then he knew, or at least bomb Iran, he knew, had to have known, if he was smart at all, that gas prices was going to go up, or at least have a spike a little bit, right? He didn't think the Strait of Hormuz. He didn't think of that at all, because you can see he had no plan for it. They don't have no plan. They're still trying to figure it out. But it's still the biggest oil place, and you're going to blow it up? Then when you're sitting here talking, he would have set up and said something to the effect of, oil prices are down in some places, down to $1.99. Now, we're going to have to continue doing some things, and this price is going to go up. You're going to have a little pain, coming up with the gas, but I assure you that it's going to go back down and even lower than it was before. He would have prepped you. This is how groomers, this is how grifters, they set it up. If they know what they're about to do is about to fuck up your account, they set it up so that you know, look, this is what I said. It would have been cryptic, but it would have gave him an excuse. It would have gave him somewhat of an out. He didn't know on the 24th, because remember they said, well, it was last second. We couldn't notify the people that they couldn't get back from, that the Americans and stuff like that were in that region. We couldn't let them know because it was last second, last minute. But then they said they planned it for 4 months. Pete Hegseth, we planned this. We planned this for a few months. 4 months, I think they said, something like that. I mean, which one is it? You planned it for 4 months or you did it last second? Because last second, understandable why you left these people in the lurch. 4 months is not understandable. You could have let them know. So Donald Trump didn't know on the 24th, 4 days beforehand. Bibi Netanyahu, in less than 4 days, convinced this dumbass to do what he did. And Lindsey Graham is taking credit for speaking to Israel and coming here and speaking to Donald Trump, telling Israel, Bibi Netanyahu, how to get Donald Trump to do what he wants him to do. How much money is Lindsey Graham getting from AIPAC? Because this man is a traitor to the country. I would say he's treasonous, because you literally took our country to war. We've had 7 military people die, and we did it because you're in love with Bibi Netanyahu, and it has the shit to do with America. We haven't been fighting this war for 47 years, none whatsoever. You out here lying to people. Where's 47 years of war with them? It hasn't been. We fucked them over for 47 years, but it ain't been no war with them. You bombed them last year. Yes, you did. They didn't even fight back. They let you know they was about to blow up another location. They gave you a heads up just to get back at you, and then came to the table after they blew up and said, hey, we got to retaliate. Okay, boom, came back. Let's go ahead and negotiate. They didn't have to let you know anything. You didn't let them know you was blowing up their location. They were nice enough to tell us where it was going to go so our military men can get out, but not far enough. So you can recognize that we fucked them over royally, and they've given us opportunity after opportunity, and we continue to say, no, fuck y'all, we don't care. Don't believe me, just go look at it. Go look at the history of it. Don't believe them, don't believe me. Go look at the history of this whole entire thing. And it sucks because these gas prices are going through the roof. And it's not just the gas. When you talk about this, I didn't know. I found out today that this Strait of Hormuz brings a lot of different things. It brings sulfur, fertilizer. Our farmers need this fertilizer. I didn't know where they bought their fertilizer from. Their fertilizer, a lot of them, I ain't gonna say all of them, I just know a lot of them are getting their fertilizer from over there. And do I have it? It was a I had this I'll see if I can find it. But there was a video, I think, of the individuals who there was a lady who was at a gas station, I'll see if I can get that. And then a farmer, they were talking about, well, she was talking about gas and, you know, basically talking about how high it is and what she has to do to be able to get it to work. And I'm like, well, damn, that's pretty messed up for her and her family. It's like she had to choose between eating or getting gas. And I think I have her video here. Let's see if I can find it. But eating or getting gas. And, you know, who should have to do that? You know what I mean? Who should have to decide whether they're going to eat or get gas? And that's what people are having to do because of Donald Trump. Because of Donald Trump, these people are having to say, okay, I need food. I need to get my kids food. And in so doing, that's how I'm going to make life happen. Let's see if I can get this thing to work. I'm not sure. Let's hope it works. If it doesn't, we won't be able to see it, but it was a last-ditch effort to get it to work here. Let's see if I can make it happen.
Filled up my tank a week ago, and just to fill it up, it was $45. Now to fill it up is $65.
So what kind of decisions, are you making at home?
Okay, let's go back.
My tank a week ago, and just to fill it up, it was $45. Now to fill it up is $65.
So what kind of decisions, are you making at home and in your regular life to
as
cope
for
with
right
this?
now, I'm less than a quarter of a tank, so it's between getting gas or going to the grocery store to get food for my kids.
It's going to affect our margins on our grain crops we grow, especially corn, the biggest one, and wheat as well. They're big users of nitrogen fertilizer. I could see at the current prices that we're hearing, maybe a 7 to 8 cents price increase or in the cost of producing corn. And that may not sound like a lot, but our margins right now, the last several years, grain prices have been very depressed and our margins were very, very slim. So that may eat into most of the rest of the margins that we do have.
Yo, you can see that a lot of people are having, that are in pain. You know, some of us may not be touched as much. You know, we may just have a gas situation. Because some states in the Midwest that I noticed, because I just traveled back there lately to take care of stuff for my mom in the Midwest, and it depends on the location of the oil that you're getting, stuff for your utilities or your gas or whatever, your heat. And when it was cold, I mean, people's bills were going up. It used to be like $200 to $300, $1,200, $4,000, depending, I guess, the size of your house, how much you use. And I mean, you got to pay it. And the good thing, though, for a few people that I talked to that had like $1,200 in Indiana, I talked to them, and the good thing, but it's still fucked up, though. The good thing is the heat stays on, and then you can make a deal to pay a percentage of what you owe. But even that, let's say, you're used to paying $60. Now you got a bill for $1,200. And your bill's going to still accrue for the next month. It's going to be another, maybe if throughout the winter that, it's still going to be the next month's going to be $800 to $1,200, whatever it may be. So you're paying $60. You got to pay a little bit more on it. So you're paying like $80. You're paying $20 on the $1,200, right? And it's ridiculous. The next month, and the winter months are over. You may owe $4,000, $6,000, and depending on those people who have $4,000 a month, they may owe $12,000 by the end of winter. Just for their heat. I mean, I was baffled by it. And if you go, like I said, Mr. Global was explaining how that worked because of how the oil, where it's tapped at and what particular kind of oil, but that's being used for that. I don't know all the details on that one. So I'll let Mr. Global explain that to you if you know who that is. If not, go find him on YouTube. I know for sure. But he's a good source. I give mad credit and respect to his sources because I always check them and they're always right based on the facts. But anyway, knowing all that, you see that there's it's like sulfur, there's nitro or nitrogen, whatever type of fertilizer he said that's in it. All of it's coming, not all of it, but a lot of it's coming from over there through the Hormuz, right? The Strait of Hormuz, and it's like, I mean, they not only fucking with your gas, all these things are going up. And like the lady was saying, you got to pick on whether you're going to eat. She said she got to buy food. And here's the thing I'll tell you about a mom in a hard second. I know some of y'all moms, I can't tell you nothing. And I know you some of your fathers and husbands, I can't tell you nothing either. But the thing I noticed is that the first thing she said was that I got to figure out whether I get gas or buy food for my kids to eat. When you're down to the fact of, it told me right then and there, she's a single mom. She didn't mention hubby at all or boyfriend at all. The responsibility was on her. So it automatically made me think she's a single mom. The second part was, I got to buy food for my kids to eat. She didn't talk about for her family, for us to eat. She said her kids to eat, which means to me also is that she's not eating well. The kids are the ones she's got to focus on. She'll take the scraps. That's a mom. That's a mom. The one who's sitting there talking about my kids. You got to go to work. You can't be fainting and driving. You know what I'm saying? You can't die. Kids can't eat if you're gone. But so much that she was thinking about how she's going to feed her kids. The reporter didn't catch it. The anchors didn't catch it. It was the first thing I caught when she said about her kids. I said she focused on her children. She can go without eating. So when you think about that, and I don't know who she voted for. I could guess, but I could be wrong. And so to think that people are going without food, they're trying to find a better way to get their medications, or have to go without it, or take half a pill. When it starts to get worse, and then a lot of people got dropped off of their SNAP and welfare processes and stuff like that. They kicked them off. And they're barely living at the poverty level. And then gas goes up. How you get back and forth to work? Another person I saw being interviewed said that she no longer, and I believe it was a she, I don't know because I couldn't tell 100%. But this person, I won't disrespect that person, but this person said that they leave their car at home. They take the bus now because they can't afford the gas. Now this person's got to think about how to get back and forth to work on a bus. What route, if she's got to take, or this person has to take 2 buses connecting, all that. Life has got to change. And no disrespect, I don't know what anybody voted for. I feel bad for the pain. But under Biden, you didn't have to go through that. You didn't. I mean, things were expensive, but they weren't stupid expensive. Steak wasn't like 20% higher, 18, 20% higher. Beef wasn't. I mean, come on. The farmers weren't like needing a bailout. We don't give them billions of dollars. And they still going broke. This other farmer spoke out earlier today talking about his, a lot of farmers are going through bankruptcy. And I don't know if you guys know, but I had to look it up because I always hear farmers say they have a small margin, right? Of I'm guessing profit, right? Of how much they actually make. They're working on small margins. Did you know that most farmers, even mid-sized farmers, they don't even break even. I was trying to figure this shit out. I said, you know what? How much? Because they always talk about they work on small margins. In my head, I'm like, oh, they may be what? They 25, 30%, 10%. I don't know. What is it? These people are literally making, the average farmer, small up to mid-size, is in the red about $1,200 every year. That's on norm. I was like, why the hell are you farming? You ain't making no money. There's no profit in this. $1,200 in debt every year. I was like, that don't make no sense. How you eating? How this shit working? Well, this is after you don't paid everything, you in debt. I was like, okay, how you have a savings? How you going, how, what? And then I the mid to large, they're making about 12 they're making 1,200. They're not in debt. They're making 1,200 to like 3,000 or something like that. I said, these numbers got to be off. Nobody working all that damn hard and fingers feel like they're bricks and shit. Got sandpaper in his hands, and each finger is about the size of 2 fingers and shit. I'm like, you ain't going through all that for 1,200. You crazy shit. You can work at McDonald's and make more. What the fuck? So I'm tripping. I was bamboozled. I said, what the hell? This ain't right. And then the larger ones, they're making like 30, 40, 100 grand. These big ones, almost corporate size, but the larger ones, the corporate size, they're the ones who's making all the money. I'm sitting here like, what? And I was like, well, then how do you pay for bills? How do you pay for any of that shit if you always broke? And because they're in massive debt. They're in massive debt, many of them. Because what do? They borrow off their land. See, they got land that's worth millions. They got 1,000 acres. Oh, they sitting on millions of dollars. Even in small towns, they're sitting on a few million. So they borrow money off their land property, their equity in the property, and they use that. And with equity, oftentimes you get an equity loan, you can be able to pay it back without having to pay, any kind of interest or anything like that. You can pay it back within a certain amount of time. So they're always working massive deals. A farmer is damn near a banker because he or she has to know how to get deals with buying and selling. They done sold parts of their property, just not sold, but gotten loans off of it, and they have to know all that shit. And it's like, they may have CPAs, I'm not sure, but nah, bro. I've been had a stroke trying to be a farmer, dude. Not even the hard work. It's all about having to make ends meet. I'm like, nah, dude. I'm getting a job, yo. I'm getting a job. That's a job. But being in debt all the time, and then at the end of the year, I'm tripping off having to do taxes. These fools are literally like, I ain't making no money this year. Man, you got a $5 million fucking tractor outside. Big ass thing. How you make that? They making payments on those. I was like, nah, bro. Nah. Excuse me. I'm done. I wouldn't be no farmer to save nobody's life. But nah. I was just shocked. I was like, wow. And my ex, her father was a farmer. And, they used to say, oh, yeah, we make about 50. They had a lot of acres, over 1,000 acres in Indiana. And he's like, I get about $50,000 at $50,000 a year. Okay. But you got all this stuff out here, all these bills, and they travel different places. And I'm like, I was making more than that at my job at that time. I was making 100-something thousand a year. And I'm like, you out here bleeding and shit. I'm like, you gotta love this, bro. You gotta love this. It's in your blood. Cause it's just crazy. And here's another thing. Most small to mid-sized farmers have a full-time job. No, you ain't. You ain't making me work out no field and I got a full-time job. A lot of them are truckers. Yeah, they go out and drive forever and come back and work the land. I was like, yo, nah. Big ups to some of these farmers. Big ups to y'all. But again, if it ain't no profitable business, I just can't see it. Right? Joshi said, I'm a gardener. Even that's too much for me. I couldn't do it, man. Me and plants ain't got no kind of relationship. I eat them, but I ain't about to do nothing else. I ain't raising them. But other people do. My girlfriend raised them. I don't. They over there. But it's some of the craziest things. But anyway, those are the types of things that go on with farmers that I just didn't know. But again, it's a crazy business to be in. Now that I know their margins, I have to learn more about it. But yeah, I wouldn't be one. Big ups to losing all the time. I gotta win at some point. Ain't no way I'm being something where I'm always losing. I wonder what the suicide rate is for a farmer, because it's got to be high. Did all that shit, not down 1,200. That's worse than gambling, man. I'd rather go to Vegas, and I don't even gamble. But fuck your crops, nigga. Fuck your crops. Nah, I'm wrong. Hey, go on, farmer, do your thing. But anyway, I want to leave y'all with something that was is kind of pathetic and funny at the same time. Donald Trump went out here and told people to fuck they housing. Ain't nobody giving a shit about that. And that's what a lot of people, their kids can't get homes. A lot of these kids are buying homes with their moms and dads' investment money. You know what I'm saying? And they're the ones who are privileged enough to have parents who could do that for them. Other kids are having to live in apartments with 2 and 3 people that they don't know, don't like, and whatever it may be. Only because, and still have good money jobs and stuff like that, but it just ain't enough to pay for the increase in rent and car payments and all these other things. You know, you got to live a bare knuckle life. You know, you got to, like, even if you're younger, to be able to get something, you got to be living with your parents. If you're living in a place, you're living in a small place with somebody else, and like got a room or some shit like that. And it's sad because the American dream is totally slipping away for our young, and even for our adults. You know, it's slipping away because a lot of people, you know, put money in and did what they could, and they retired. And if they didn't retire from like the military or a really good job, you're living like really in squalor compared to what you did when you had a full-time job, which, not unless you bought your home or whatever, but most people haven't. So it really sucks to be in the situation that a lot of people are in. We got to pray for them, for all of us in that situation, but for the ones who are really hurting, I pray for y'all in this process, because there is, except for you MAGA, y'all deserve this shit. I ain't got 2 cents to pray for y'all. I'm like, nah, y'all knew this shit. You just didn't care. You didn't love yourself, so I ain't gonna put no love on you. But it's just sad, because I remember growing up, get a good job, you know what I'm saying? Get a house, kids, all this stuff like that, and that shit was obtainable. And then when we had like the 2008, around 2008, around there when Bush had to crash. You know, one of the biggest things is that you saw jobs at, and this is what I said to my kids. You know, they didn't know because they never was there. I said, I remember when McDonald's and fast food was for kids to get a job, finally get a job. That was an entry for kids to get into jobs. When they were like 15 and a half, you could get a job. I did that. Got a job at McDonald's, and you work your way up. By the time you 18, you could be a manager of McDonald's. If you did everything right and went to college with McDonald's and McDonald's colleges, they did have at one point, I don't know, still they do. You could be like an owner of a McDonald's. You could take that route and grow with it. Now, I mean, not even now, but after 2008 and all that stuff started to crash, you started going to McDonald's, and it was mostly adults, moms and dads working at McDonald's. Feel me? It just totally crashed like that. And then it did it again with Donald Trump and the pandemic. He mishandled that so bad that these restaurants, these fast food restaurants, which were like the essential places to eat, usually you would see, because of that beforehand, you see adults, but then you started to see adults and kids working there. But when 2019 came, they couldn't get people to come back. It was working at home, doing all kinds of things. The gig economy has showed up. So to get people back, these McDonald's, Carl's Jr., Jack in the Box, all these joints. I remember driving up to one. Some people don't forgot. I drive up to one. All of them had big signs on it. Different restaurants, but they have a big sign saying their marketing was, you know, you get a 401k at McDonald's. Like, you get a 401k at Jack in the Box. I'm like, where'd that shit come from? And we're looking for shift manager. The regular employee became shift managers automatically because they couldn't hire nobody. And these hits we've been taking on our economy has pushed people to the fact of adults are working in jobs that our kids would get and making the same type of pay that our kids would get. Now you got to raise a family. I saw one during COVID. It was when he was trying to get the not living wage, but the minimum wage up to $15. And I'm sitting here like $15 is still poverty in almost every state. And it was a military man who said he had came back home from the military, couldn't find a job in what he was trained to do in the military. And, you know, he's got to take care of his family. He ain't got no hate, no nothing. He said, a good job's a good job. And he said he worked, I think he was working at McDonald's. And he said, I can't live off of this, and I'm raising a family. We need to raise it up. And that was the sad part. Military man risked his life, couldn't find a job. $15 is what he's trying to get to. That was a raise for him. I was like, this was on 2019, 2020. I was like, yo, this can't be. There's no way to reach this American dream if you're not, if the jobs that we gave kids when I was younger, McDonald's was paying like $3.35. Shut up. I don't told you I'm 55. Shut your mouth. It was $3.35. You're talking about working there for a year or something. I had moved up to $3.65. Boy was making money. And then you get here down they paying like 10, 12. That's 3 times as much as I was doing. But the place, everything that you buy was 10 times higher. It's hard to live off that. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to live off of it. Can't have the American dream. $15 is still, and they won't do that. Yet though they spend $93 billion with a B on steak and shrimp and grand pianos, but we can't make living wage $25 an hour. I mean, seriously? Just don't know. But I'm going to leave you with what MAGA is doing. Donald Trump tried to come out. He put out a post, a truth. Do I have it? Let's see if I have it. Truth. I think I do. Let's put out the truth first. He put out a truth. We're going to do this real quick. His truth said, if I can get it, let's see. There you go. Right there. The United States is the largest oil producer in the world by far. When oil prices go up, we make a lot of money. Who we? Who is we? How is it that we're paying more money for gas and we make a lot of money? Is he stupid? Yes, he is. But, or for greater interest and importance to me as president, is stooping? Stopping has 2 P's, idiot. Stopping. This man got like a 2nd grade education. An evil empire, Iran, from having nuclear weapons and destroying the Middle East and indeed the world. I won't ever let that happen. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. So this idiot put that out. And then the White House put out an official tweet, to try and back this up, to kind of like, yeah, he's right. And they put a little picture on it. White House on the bottom. Iran will be stopped. How? We don't even know why we're there. And he thinks there's no more ships and boats, but they blowing the fuck out of these boats that are trying with the oil on it. But what are those? Phantom boats? We got invisible boats. Is Wonder Woman in boats now? She got her own little, not a flying plane. She got a boat, invisible boat. The fuck is he talking about? The boats are still there. They're dropping mines. How do you drop mines? Is there like one big ass Iranian giant just walking through the water, dropping bombs? Boom, boom. I mean, what the fuck is this man talking about? Right? And so you get these idiots, and from what I hear, they took it down after they put it up for a while. Maybe back up, I'm not sure, but they supposedly took it down because they didn't realize how disconnected they were from America. To say that if oil prices, gas prices rise up, we make a lot of money. Who be the we? We're losing money, dipshit. Where we getting money from? MAGA, do you see how stupid he thinks you are now? Took you fucking a decade to figure this shit out. But this is the last thing I'm going to leave you with. These MAGA people, and I believe one of these dudes is from Israel or something like that, from some foreign country. If he's not, he has a station here that caters to the foreign country. But they're all saying the same thing. And MAGA, I know it's going to work on them, but at some point in time, you got to look at when you pass the gas station, the gas is over like now, like 70 cents or whatever it is, 60 to 70 cents higher than it was less than 10 days ago. That's $1.20 every 2 gallons. You're paying $1.20 more. Here we go.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers.
We may have to deal with that in the short term.
Short-term and temporary.
Temporary short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain.
Short-term pain. We have to focus on the short-term.
Short-term.
Short-term. Short-term. Short-term and long-term.
Short-term left. Hopefully this is a short-term pain. Short-term is highly outweighed of the long-term benefits.
Some short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain.
They short on brain. Yes, they insane. That's a rhyme. Short-term brains. Because they dumbass is insane. Gonna go out here and rhyme and shit. Like that's gonna make something happen. For dipshits, it will make it happen. But short-term, I know they didn't ever ask this. But if somebody said that to me, short-term pain, long-term gain. What's the long-term gain? What are we gaining from this pain? What are we gonna gain? We're gonna gain them to having nukes. How can you do that? How are you gonna do that? Let me just give it to you real quick. MAGA. Oh, y'all bright in here. How are they gonna do that without putting boots on the ground? You don't want that, right? Nope, don't want to do that. But even if you did, let's just give it to you. Let's give it to you real quick. We put boots on the ground. That right there is going to take at least 20-something years to get up out that country. You heard me? How you going to take tonnage off of property? Do you think they have one big-ass, giant American warrior that comes and just picks one of them up at a time, just drop them off in a boat? Nah. You got to cordon off the area and fight for your life while missiles are coming in to be able to take something. First of all, you got to take over the location after you get into the country for months upon months trying to find this bitch. Because by the time you get on land, they don't move that bitch to another part of the country. 700 miles below ground. Your ass to be searching for fucking 255 years talking about, oh, this is short term. Ain't shit short. But let's give you your little stupid ass ideology. They go in. Just by miraculous things or whatever happens, they find it immediately. And then they have a truck back it up. No bombs, no murders. They don't get killed. They load it up in a truck, take it to their ship, and drive off with it. Boom, we got it. We're gone. We're going to leave the area. Where's the long-term gain? Because the moment you take it out, the scientists are starting right the fuck back up. Did you not recognize you went kaboom and boom, boom again? And Donald Trump said 8 months ago, they blew up all their shit. And that they wouldn't be able to have a nuclear weapon or even any kind of enriched uranium worth a damn for the next decade or so. Less than 8 months goes by, and supposedly they have more of it. If you were a dipshit, which you are, you would think they started from scratch. So within scratch, they don't went from 8 months from years getting as much as they had, but in 8 months, they don't went so much to be able to have 10 bombs in 8 months from going from scratch because you blew it all up. If you believe Donald Trump, 8 months, they made a nuclear weapon. Close to it. You'd have to be a dipshit, but let's follow down the dipshit road. So if it only took them 8 months in your dumbass head from the time they blew it all up to get 60, or what do you say, close to 60 nuclear weapons grade within 2 weeks, they said they can get it done. Then once you take it all, in 4 weeks, they should have another, 120, correct? Based off of your logic. So how is that a long-term gain? That you leave and 6 months later, they got 120 or 120 fucking bombs as opposed to 60 as the lie they told you. These people are not bright. Straight dipshits. They don't add. They don't do anything but just listen. I will believe everything you say. And I'm like, you're a dipshit. Believe that. 100%. Because if you really believe what the fuck they're telling you, they blew it all up, and within 6 months, they built enough back to build a... It's been 47 years, and they haven't gotten one yet. And they're going to build one in 6 months? After you done blew it all up? You'd have to believe Donnie Boy is a liar in order to believe that they can build a bomb in 6 months after they done blew it all up. Obliterated it, as he says. I got a new word. Obliterated. I said it. You've never heard it before. Special. Special ed. Not the rapper. I'm talking about the class. Y'all all belong to it. And there were people in there that shouldn't have been there. They just had ADHD or something. But then there was people like y'all that deserve to be there. And they should make an adult special ed. Y'all can just stay over in that area. Just name a whole ass state special ed. And y'all can move there and be cool with all your MAGites. Just go there. You guys will get along very well. I believe. Anyway, that's just insane to me. And I had to give them that dipshit ideology to be able to see, look at their picture. And I bet you money they still didn't get it. Still didn't get it. Because logic is not something they deal in. They deal in dipshittery. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry I came on late tonight, but it is what it is. We're going to have a good time. Much love to y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. And we'll get it in again with facts and talking shit about people who just don't believe in them. I'll see y'all when I see you. Take care. Much love.